oh God, I'm picking up on like Jay-isms. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I need to spend last time on Jay. I'm becoming you.
Welcome to the Creative and Code podcast.
Welcome to the internet, my friend.
Brought to you by ID Digital Agency.
Kind of a big deal.
Dive into the dynamic world of digital marketing, creative design, and coding with top experts, latest trends, and actionable insights. Let's get inspired and innovate together.
It's showtime.
Welcome to Creative and Code, a podcast by ID Digital Agency, featuring me, Emily, and this is Jay.
Hi, Emily.
Hello,
we only
Jay.
saw each other all day, every day since the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Let's move past that. Look, we won't...
What are you insinuating?
Nothing. Maybe we see too much of each other.
No.
No?
We used to sit next to each other.
You know why? Because earlier, right, I was talking
take
to
these off.
one of our clients, and I referred to him as, his name is Kit. I referred to him as Mr. Kit. And then he said, Jay calls me Mr. Kit.
Do
I was
I?
like, oh God, I'm picking up on like Jay-isms. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I need to spend last time on Jay. I'm becoming you.
Because when you first started, we were sitting together.
Yeah.
And then now I'm sitting, three or so
Several people
desks
away.
from you, so... Which is a good thing.
Well,
No.
you're still influencing me, clearly. Which I don't, yeah. Is that a good thing? Anyway.
But I think, I think it's a good thing. We're influencing
It works both
influencing
ways.
each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you probably get things off Antoine. You're doing some kind of crossword puzzle or something in the
Yeah,
morning.
we're obsessed with puzzles. It's not crosswords. It's the New York Times Wordle connections strands, and then also the Worldle, which is country identification. And then LinkedIn just added pinpoint and cross climb. So we've got about 6 daily puzzles.
And when are you getting these done?
We do them on like the way to work.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and the puzzle channel pops off.
I wondered why he was online early, like at 8 o'clock in
that's
the
why.
morning. That's okay.
Because
that
when
makes sense
like
now.
we all do our puzzles on the commute and stuff, the channels.
And who's best at
popping.
the puzzle so far?
It's up and down every day. So Arnell's a recent addition to the puzzle channel, and he so far is kind of come out in front of everybody.
Well, he's got lots of time. He's got an hour and a half.
Well,
on
this is
train
the
or
thing.
something.
I think he's just, and he has all this worldly knowledge. He's Antoine's really good at geography. I don't know.
See, and all of ours combined. That's why Antoine's off.
Well, exactly.
Winning drag trivia every Wednesday night
because
too.
he has the knowledge, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm just much better at straight up Wordle.
So I think we can say we rub off on each other in a positive way. Then,
Okay,
our powers combined.
I think that's a good
Captain
good way to
Planet or
put it.
whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so today we don't have a guest.
No guest.
But we thought we'd talk about something that a lot of people talk about. And I think our podcasts have been really surrounding marketing. Haven't they?
That
It's
makes a
been
lot of
AI,
sense
it's
considering I'm in marketing.
Yeah, programmatic marketing, all that stuff. I think we're going to start steering across into code and more creative because we're called Creative in Code. Creative in marketing,
I mean, but we should also talk about, I guess,
the other side.
code. Not that I have anything to do with code, so I don't have anything to talk about there.
Yeah, so we're going to talk
scary.
about Looker Studio, which is a free service from Google where you can tap in a whole bunch of different tracking platforms, I guess, and be able to bring it all together and create really elegant, simple, on-time reports that your management or yourself can look at without having to go into all these different types of platforms.
Yeah.
It can all
It's
come through.
streamlined as hell.
Yeah, so I think analytics, tag manager, socials. What else can it do?
Search
LinkedIn.
console. What are the other platforms?
That's the
Google
ones we
Ads.
use it for. Yeah, Google Ads is another good
Yeah,
one.
it can link into SEMrush,
HubSpot, it can do a whole bunch of stuff.
literally anything under the sun.
Anything with data.
Yeah, it's an interesting tool. I've been using quite a lot of it.
You got good at it.
There's some issues I think with it, just because it's quite a simple tool at its core. Like the whole point is it's user friendly and it's meant to be it's not for huge amounts of data. It's supposed to be quite high level, and then I think I've almost been using it too hard and we've started to hit the limitations of it.
I think one of our clients has got like 15, 16 pages of data in it.
Oh yeah, it's just there's so much in there and it's great, but then as soon as you kind of get so much and in there, the clients kind of start asking for can you combine this bit and this bit, and then it has that functionality, but it's not quite as in depth as something like, I don't know, Power BI or whatever. So yeah, I think it's a great tool for people like me who you're kind of reporting to people who don't want a crazy detailed data. They just want something where they can see the figures and they can sort by whatever, and then it's there, and yeah, it's easy.
It's also good for your kind of small business operators or department managers that just want to see their data. So you can even, we'll talk about it more, but yeah, split it down to a department level or a section of the website. So like we've got a aged care company that we work with that has retirement living, aged care, disability services. They just, each of those department heads just want to be able to see their data, see what their popular pages are, see how many visits have come through to their section. And this can do it, and you can do different date ranges and comparisons. And it's pretty
you
cool.
can even like filter it down to device and things like that. It's just, it's really nice and detailed.
It is nice. But first of all, let's get into the news.
Good news, everyone.
Uh-oh, I don't like the sound of that.
This is the way.
New iPhone.
New iPhone 16, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And already they you can no longer buy the iPhone 15. You can get the iPhone 14.
I think it's the Pro they got rid of, right?
Yeah,
I think the
but
15,
because... And I think it's because they're so similar.
Well, it's getting to the point now where it's like, do we need a new iPhone every year? Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the updates that are interesting that Apple are doing year on year are software. So why do we need a new physical iPhone every year?
Yeah. Well,
It
they
makes
keep
no
saying
sense.
that, for, what do they call Apple Intelligence? It needs a bigger processor.
I mean, I feel like
They just
that's just a sales tactic right there.
Yeah.
I mean, the artificial intelligence kind of aspect of it is really, it's interesting. I'm starting to, like, it's one thing to have ChatGPT and, like, use it on your own will, but it's getting to the point now where it's unavoidable. It's going to be built into your phone, and everything you do is going to be kind of informed by that.
And it's like Apple had been doing it for a couple of years already with their Apple TV. So you could say, show me all movies that have Julia Roberts in it between these years, and you get it. And that's really cool. But now you can go into so many multi-layered prompts and things that, just knock your socks off. And even just generation of content or querying things, or like thinking about going to Japan next year. So what are the hot things that people do when they're over there? When should you go? And it just gives you back the information. Rather than having to go out and research and look at websites and all that stuff, you just get the info.
It just brings it in. I think it'll be so helpful having it integrated into Siri, who... the whole function of Siri is she actually knows your business. Like, you can be like, okay, add this to my calendar and find the information about the trip to Japan and put it in my calendar. Like, integrate.
Those tasks, I'm guessing that's what Apple is doing, is that's the action. Because currently you get the content, you get the response,
Well, that's
but
big,
there's no
but
action.
you have to actually do that bit yourselves. And that's almost the tedious bit, is integrating it with your life. But now it's
pretty cool. Imagine if like Siri knew your login details for your blog or something.
Well, exactly,
like that, and says, yep, I love the article you've created. Put it into my personality, add it into my blog now, and it just does it. It'd be...
I think that's a good one for like messages too. Like, I could be like, oh yeah, tell Jay, like, come up.
I'm sick today.
Come up with
and
a
make it
really
sound
brilliant excuse to why I can't attend this, and send it to Jay. Like,
I'm sure you do that anyway. It's just now you
but
don't
now
have
I
to
don't have
send
to
it.
even think about it. I just get Siri to do it.
Yeah, you just say, hey Siri, or whatever. The phone's on, you're like lying there in a coma.
I still would trust it though. It would probably say to you like, whoa, there's been a nuclear incident at my house.
Yeah,
like,
Emily's trying to fake her sickness, and here's her best response. No, we know you don't do that. But no, that's looking good. The iPhone, I have the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so I don't think I'm upgrading. The only difference is, because you do get Apple Intelligence when it comes out here in December, I think.
It's just the other software.
Yeah.
So I think,
And you get a better video camera and a better normal stills camera.
It's got like a different like button now, right? Like the video control. But
the camera button.
It's the kind of stuff like that. I feel like the camera updates
It's not enough.
don't interest me that much. Like, I feel like when you first get a new iPhone, no matter what it is, the camera looks great. And then like after a few months, it just looks kind of whatever. Like, I don't know if that's like placebo effect or...
Yeah, it's like it's degrading in front of you. Like,
it's
I've noticed
weird.
that too. I'm like, oh, the photos are so good, and now they're getting a bit worse.
I don't know
that is the case.
why. Yeah, but I mean, certainly I think it's going to be interesting to see. Like, this is kind of the first stage of getting that AI built into iPhones, and then where's it going to go? I also like the sound of the custom emojis, because I've got some,
Got some ones you want to generate?
I don't know, I just feel like sometimes there's just not an emoji that suits what I want.
What's the emoji you use the most?
Probably like the cowboy hat.
The cowboy hat.
Yeah,
I haven't
and
seen
then
that.
like the salute.
Oh, yes, you
and
do
then
do that
I
a
do
lot.
like the salute, and I use the skull emoji a lot. You like the new nodding one? That one's good. Just like the sobbing one. I love an emoji. What do you use the most?
I always use the muscle one.
You do like the muscle emoji.
Yeah, so like in the morning when we do our stand-up on Slack, everyone writes in what they've done,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
It is like a good indication. Like you don't even need to go in and see who's reacted to it because you see a muscle and you know it's Jay. Yeah, it's pretty
yeah,
straightforward.
you don't have to put your mouse over it and see all the people that said
No,
the
you
same
need to. We have custom emojis on Slack. We've got a few like Pokemons on there.
Oh yeah,
You
Ali
need
with
to-
devil horns.
We've got Angel Ali and Devil Ali. I like those ones. Yeah, we've got like a little custom Diego like from Dora the Explorer. We've got a
Yes, he
little
does use
Diego.
that a lot. He uses a dragon of some sort.
Yeah, we have Dragonite. That's the Pokemon. We also have I can't remember what it's called, but in French it's Salamesh, which is why we have it because it's
How do you
really
have time
funny.
for all this, Emily? It's amazing.
We talk to each other in the office. I don't know what to tell you.
That's good.
Yeah,
No.
collaboration, one may say.
Yeah. Good. What else we got? August Google Search Core update. Tell me about it.
Google's just, I think it's almost like a backlash to when they did a Google search update earlier in the year that kind of prioritized all that AI mumbo jumbo and everyone got really angry about it. It's kind of like rolling that back and now they're starting to prioritize more content that's actually not targeted towards just AI hitting keywords and more towards actually providing valuable information.
So this is their response to all
people.
this generated content.
Yeah, because I think it was getting to the point. I mean, I feel like this isn't a decision they would have made if they were still, succeeding. It's almost like they're threatened by ChatGPT and they're like, oh God, we've got to like actually like make some things better, which I feel like hasn't happened for a long time with Google search. So
I think too,
Yeah.
they've got ChatGPT as a competitor, but they've also now got things like TikTok that are taking people away from searching. They're
Yeah.
being entertained. And you've got all
Exactly.
your stay-at-home period back in 2001 where everyone was on Netflix and now they're doing all the digital TV subscriptions and
I
there's a
think
lot
it's
of
just-
distraction.
Yeah, there's just so much noise now, and Google's just not providing an easy way to find the data you want. Like you have to add Reddit to the end of every question just to find a real person's comment. Like
I'd love to see if the amount of searches over time is actually either flatlining because more people
Yeah,
are obviously
probably.
becoming part of our world, but if it's on the downway and what they're going to do about it.
be interesting to see how this update actually impacts. If it I feel like everything is still very much keyword focused. I don't know how they're going to stop that because we're so far into like SEO revolution and everything. Like they can't reverse that. But
And as of last week,
Yeah.
all the programmatic marketing that we learned, it is all based
Well,
on
yeah.
tags and hashtags and keywords. It's all the same stuff.
yeah, exactly. Like that's such a major part of the internet and websites and the fabric of kind of everything now is that how do you kind of start to provide less, like assign less value to that? I don't
Yeah.
know how they're kind of doing it or what tool they're using to identify that something's human written, because obviously I know that the AI identification tools aren't perfect. It's a weird one. I'm interested
Yeah,
to
we're
see
in
where
this
it goes.
lull where two massive forces are trying to, well, you're going through one and the other one, it's like, we're not sure what's going to happen, but we'll be there for the ride.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we'll have to
Nice.
see.
Potential incoming laws on social media for kids. I've been listening to that too. Here in Australia, that is. I don't know. They've been trying to do it overseas too.
Yeah, I think it's
It's hard to police.
an interesting one. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that'll impact. Obviously, with marketing, we can't target children anyway, anything under 14. But just in terms of like engagement on Instagram Reels and things like that, I feel like such a huge amount of that is just random children.
Yeah.
And you don't really even know like how is that going to impact the figures of use
Because
across
I've
social
heard
media.
the way that they're hoping that it'll work is it'll be based on your camera, your front-facing camera.
I don't like that.
To have the sensors to be able to determine someone's age if they haven't provided their passport details or whatever to confirm. They'll be able to see based on their facial setup, whatever that is, if they're younger than 16.
I feel like that raises so many more moral issues than like even having like children having access to the internet unfiltered, terrible. But scanning every child's face and putting it in some database and requiring passport information from every single person on earth in order to use social media, there's no way that's going to end well.
It's like, how far do you go before you're really impacting on your own privacy?
Oh yeah, exactly. And
the
like we
privacy
know
of the
they're
kids.
not moral companies. Like God knows who they're selling that data to. Like it's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little bit concerned already. Meta, they like locked me out of an ad account for a client, and then to verify my identity, they asked for same thing, my driver's license. So they've got a copy of my driver's license. which I'm sure that's
Do they
great.
need to really have that?
Yeah.
There's got to be better ways to authenticate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, we delete it in 30 days. It's like, okay, I don't have any proof that you're doing that.
Exactly.
You know,
And they probably don't.
Yeah, exactly. So not great.
So yeah, lots of things going on. Snow season early ending. Yeah. So we one of our major clients is Mount Buller, and they had to end about a month, 5 weeks
Yeah.
earlier than normal because
I read that it was their earliest season close since 1982.
that's when I was born. That's a long time.
God, there we go. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think I had a look at why they closed. It was just the amount of wind that's been around Victoria recently. You can imagine as the snow's falling, it's just the wind grabs it, throws it where it shouldn't be going.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for those snow makers, their big snow engines or whatever that make snow and put it on the ground because they're positioned directly on the best trail that they have, and it's just been, winded away.
It's crazy.
So yeah, they've shut up, and then since that as well, there's been a couple of alpine resorts that have shut down permanently as well.
Yeah.
The smaller ones, but all of them have closed for the winter already. It's quite scary. It's weird here in Australia to be closed in September. Normally it's around
It's
end
been
of October.
very warm last few weeks, so it makes perfect sense.
Hopefully it's just, again, one of those things that happens once every year. I know last year was better, and hopefully it's on the rebound for them. Yeah.
Guess we'll see. But I'm curious how that actually impacts from your side in terms of the website. Obviously, the winter site is kind of much more fleshed out a little bit than the summer site for Mount Buller, just because the winter site has all the snow reports and things like that was such a major aspect of the website. Like, how do you consider now that winter website has only been the focus for like a short amount of time, and now we're back to summer, and
the summer's getting a lot more focus simply because they need to have things happening on on the mountain during the summer, and they have great things. They've got bike riding, they've got rock climbing, they've got trampolining, they've got amazing walk trails with huge scenic views, and so it's just educating people that those things are there. And with our new update that'll be hopefully ready around January, February next year, good time just to go from summer as a transition into winter is that you'll be able to see all these activities, book them directly on the website, and share them with friends and a whole range of different stuff. But yeah, more people need to be aware of what is possible on the mountain, and it's a great destination if you've got a week or so. Most people have got about a week or so during the Christmas period where you can get up and do some exercise, stay fit. Really good restaurants and dining nearby near Mansfield, for instance, and yeah, they really just need to educate, and that's what a lot of what we're doing is about. Yeah.
The catch-22 there, I guess, is that because the snow season was so short, they kind of are probably lower on profits than they would expect, but then they have to push more money into marketing the summer so they can keep the money flowing.
It's like what we talked about last week is, when things do start to look a bit pear-shaped, you obviously need a contingency ready to go, a rainy day fund or rainy snowy fund or whatever. But
Snowy
that's
day
a stupid
fund.
dad joke, but it's important that when things get tough, you've got a bit of backup.
Well, I'm curious if Mount Buller even do they see this coming? Do they have kind of forecasting?
They've been doing it now for 100 years this year.
Yeah. So do they know a few years in advance what the kind of snow is looking like?
Oh, sure.
I don't know. I'm just thinking, have they planned to go, oh God, we're going to have a couple of really terrible snow seasons in a row. We need to
I think the best person for that is their expert weather person, Jane Bunn.
Jane Bunn, oh my God.
Who is ex-Traralgon, isn't she?
She was on Win News.
Win News
which
back
was,
in the day.
my little classic local weather.
But
anyway, she's an icon.
she predicted as well during even the launch of this year that it was going to be a very tough year.
Yeah.
And it was. It was a really tough year. So I think they'll be looking at Jane Bunn to provide those updates. And hopefully she's got a good outlook for next year.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's get into Lucas Studio.
You have my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Lucas Studio.
Yeah, so at the start of this podcast, if you've skipped ahead, we've told you a little bit about what Lucas Studio is. What's it? How much is it? And how hard is it to integrate?
So many questions. It used to be Data Studio. I think Google has also changed its name about maybe. Are we on name 4 or something? They just, how Google love to change the name.
Because they used to be
things.
Google AdWords.
The
Now it's
Google Ads. But I think Data Studio used to be something else even before Data Studio, and now they just, we know what they're like. But it is
Someone with really loud shoes. I'm sure you can hear that.
It's free for the most part. It's free as long as if you're integrating anything that's just Google, so analytics, ads, search console, things like that, completely free. Integrations are all built in. You can look up, there's a library of template reports. So you can just do that, select your data, copy them into your own nice little template of your report, and you're pretty much done. Where it gets limited there is that to get any integrations with anything else beyond Google products, so things like socials, SEMrush, WordPress, I don't know, anything under the sun that you can connect to it, there's independent connector companies that have built those connectors.
I think one of them's Funnel. Do you use Funnel quite a bit?
No.
What are the ones you use? Do you know?
Supermetrics is the one that I was looking at for social. The only problem I have with these kind of ones is that I'm finding the data isn't pulling as accurately as I would like, and it doesn't seem to be as seamless as I was kind of hoping. So I'm not sure if that's maybe just that one. I need to explore some different social connectors, but it is kind of an interesting transition to go from traditional reporting to this, because there's kind of different metrics too. The same stuff, I can't pull everything exactly the same. So it has required, it's not just the matter of being the report's done. I still need to add some stuff in. And
that's where I guess it gets complex, and having someone that knows Looker quite well, like yourself,
the thing, yeah.
Then we can generate these reports and the adjustments. And then you've got the secondary dimensions of data too.
There's a crazy amount of dimensions for everything, especially when you get into something like analytics. Oh my God, everything under the sun. And the problem also is it's not a end-to-end solution. It does require you to set up everything the same way in Google Analytics like you would have previously. It's not replacing anything. It's only just replacing you having to manually make graphs based on your data.
Yeah, the views of the data that you want. Yeah.
It's making it for you, and it's all generated and it's updated live.
And
so
that's the massive thing too, is it's live. So most of the time in the past, you may have been working with a marketing agency or a digital agency like us, and they'll give you monthly reports. They're static. They'll have spreadsheets and things. Takes them maybe a day or so to generate. Who knows as well, the copy and pasting, the human error involved in that as well. Whereas this, you give your client access through a share link. They can go into it. They can view it. The charts are up to date. They can change the date range.
Yeah, exactly.
So it becomes really handy, super handy that you don't have to do anything. And once it's set up, unless they want adjustments, they can choose the reports, print them, or just share them with whoever they want to as well. It's,
exactly. It's an easier process, and I think especially for clients that maybe it can be hard to get them to read a long PDF sometimes, to be here's all of the data and I've made it look or whatever and I've put all this effort into it. At least with this, if they're not reading the data, I haven't spent a day making it. So it kind of is a little bit time-saving on my end, especially
You've got a good point there too, that you do send out these reports as PDFs, or you may have done that traditionally. Who knows if they're opening them, what they're looking at, does it make sense to them? Are they using that information to make better decisions in their business?
I find a lot of the time they aren't, just because it's it's almost like an afterthought, I guess. They just want to see the ongoing results and updates, and then the data maybe, depending on the marketing team, isn't as essential. But at least with this, I can see their activity in the sheet and they can make comments, and I'm actually writing things in there and requesting a comment, and if they're not commenting on it, I know. So I think it's a better tool for collaboration on results and data versus just, the monthly PDF or whatever I would provide previously. I also think it's good to have all the data in one place, because a lot of the time I'll be going through a social results PDF, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, what's going on with the website? And I'm like, well, I need to open analytics and do the, Whereas now it's all there. I can just switch pages. It's all nicely aligned.
It's branded too. We've got our logo up the top of it.
Well, I think that's also, it does have its limitations in terms of design. I think because obviously I've been designing custom reports for us for a while, it's kind of annoying to go into Looker Studio and be like, oh my God, I can't move things the way I want to, and I can't do bullet points in there. They haven't got that function.
Yeah,
so,
strange.
let me just... God, the puzzles channel. Let me just go and do not disturb. Sorry. It's because everyone's on lunch. They're puzzling. Don't mind me. So I think it's quite simple for the time being. I'm hoping that it will continue to develop in the future, because having it be Google branded makes it a lot easier. because there's a lot of external reporting tools, things like, Power BI and other things in that space that are much more functional in terms of massive amounts of data, and you can feed it all in. But it's not as user-friendly, for clients that aren't, too data savvy. I don't want them to have to go into somewhere like that and they're even more confused.
But I think as well, like from the client point of view too, you have a look at their reaction to what we can do in there, and they're like, oh, it's so good that we can do this ourselves. We don't have to wait for the reports to come
that's
through.
The thing. I think that's the advantage with having a Google product is they understand and they know the interface, and it makes a lot of sense. Whereas, producing something in a whole new thing they have to learn, a lot of them just discount it right away. So that's one good thing about, I guess Google having these capabilities is it's familiar.
Yeah. And I think, depending if you've got an online store or you've just got a marketing brochure kind of site, or you've got a portal of some sort, like internet banking, we were just about to do some data analytics in Looker Studio on that too, without, obviously, with privacy concerns, that we don't do any kind of personal information sharing. It can help really understand how people are going through your website. What are your most popular products? What are they looking at but not purchasing? So if they're spending a lot of time looking but they decide against it, they abandon it. Even the process of going through an abandoned cart, from when you go to add to cart, check out, provide your details, provide your payment information, how much is the drop-off rate at each of those stages is so important. And what's really cool is you can then compare that to maybe last year, and you can see if your abandoned processes have improved or became stale.
Exactly.
So
I think it's that storytelling that really is quite unique to it. Because if you were just looking at all that data and analytics, and it's there and you can see it, but you don't have the ability to tell a story with that. Whereas when you're in Looker Studio, you can split that into all different pages and add your text and add all sorts of things in.
Huge. That's a massive point, I reckon, because a lot of people have analytics and they have Google Search Console, they've got ads and all that stuff running, but can they really see between
what's
all that
actually
data?
happening? Yeah, they can see the numbers, but do they understand what the numbers are actually telling them?
It's like we had a meeting with a modular company this week, and you went through in detail all the data, and you could just see wow, I didn't know we had that information. And the way in which you can split it down, if you're marketing in 5 different channels, be it social, display, network, search, whatever it might be, you can now see the pathways that are different for those, and the drop-off rates and the bounce rates. And
it's incredibly detailed.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I think, if you want to look at, just Google search Looker Studio, install it, it's free. If you've already got analytics, you can connect it really easily if you're logged in with the same email address.
And you don't even have to build your own reports. You can just look up the Google templates, connect your data, and use that.
Yeah.
That's as simple as you can have it if you want to be, or you can customize, or...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
and if you need help, the guys at ID Digital
we'll
help you out if you need to explore that further. So thanks Emily for all that detail.
That's
I think we went through there's collaboration features, the storytelling, the automation processes. There's lots to do in Looker Studio, and it's free. So
it's free.
Go for it. Just touching base on a couple of other things. We had our 23rd birthday as a business, which is pretty amazing. I put a whole bunch of old photos. Did you have a chance to look through them?
Yes, I did have a bit of a gander.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
You saw the old office space?
Yeah, I liked the doormat that was slide to unlock.
Yeah.
That's the most 2010 thing I've seen in my life.
No jokes.
That's so funny.
But no, things have changed heaps. We used to have our logo as a doormat too.
That's sick.
That we put in the middle of our office. Yeah, and guess what? A dog came in and peed on it. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't know that. Well, there we go.
Yeah, and it left a big mark. No, they didn't clean it, so we had to get rid of
clearly
it.
the dog was trying to tell you something, I think.
Oh, thanks, Emily. Rightio, I guess we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. If you have any comments, questions, or if you want to learn about Looker Studio more, look up iddigital.com.au, or you can send us an email. The email address is in the show notes. Anything else, Emily?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right. Thanks very much. See you on the next one.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Creative and Code podcast.
That's all, folks.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and found it as inspiring and entertaining as we did. Remember, there are plenty more episodes to explore, so make sure you keep listening for more creative insights and coding tips. A big shout out to our amazing sponsors and the team at ID Digital Agency for making this podcast possible. Got a story to share or want to be a guest on our show? We'd love to hear from you. Send us a 2-minute or less audio clip to creativeandcode@iddigital.com.au. Suggestions, ideas, or just want to say hi, we're all ears. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, stay creative and keep coding.